Hi, everybody. Hello. Hello, hello. Linda, Mary, Julianne, Drew, Christy, Susie. Wonderful. Hi. Hi, Tessie. Yay.
Hi,
I'm
how are
so
you?
excited. I'm good. How are you?
Great, thank you. So glad to be here.
Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so excited. All right. Well, welcome. This is our chair yoga session. I hope everybody has a chair, right? Excellent. Do you have 2 blocks and a strap? Okay. Those are really important things for this. Okay. And I've got my friend Sherry Howard. She's kind of doing the technical stuff for me today. Some of you know Sherry Howard. There she is, that beautiful girl. So she worked at Kripalu for 6 years on the yoga team and R&R. She's an amazing musician and she does a lot of this stuff. She's a master of everything she does. So I'm so grateful for her. Thank you so much, Sherry, for being here. All right, so we're going to begin. So I'm going to have a seed, and just let me know, or actually let if you need anything, put it in the chat, and Sherry can help you. Okay. So let me know if you can't see me or hear me or anything like that. But we're going to get started. Okay. I kind of wanted you to see the feet, but if I move back too far, this is my bedroom. So there's a whole separate room because I just have a little more space in here. So what I'm going to do with these blocks, so go ahead and take your yoga blocks and also put your strap, depending on your chair. I don't have 2 arms. I just have one thing back here. So if you're right-handed, you can put it around the arm, like wrap it around so you don't have to hinge over to grab it later. If you have a chair like mine, I'm just going to wrap it around the back. If you are a southpaw, you can put it on the left side. And then we're going to take one block, place it between the feet vertically on its lowest level, and the other block between the inner upper legs. And here's the sun again, but my dog wants to look out the window while she's here, so let me move over. All right, so if I stood up, which pose is this in yoga? It's mountain pose, right? Tadasana. So if I sit down, Tadasana. This is mountain pose in chair yoga. So the first thing is just rest your hands on your legs for a moment. Now this is a little bit different than the way we normally would sit in our chairs. My first yoga teacher used to say that we were kind of like marshmallows. We sort of become whatever we're sitting in, right? If we're sitting in a chair, if we're sitting in a couch, sometimes we do this. So the first thing we'll do is look down at our feet. And that block that's between the feet is really nice because then you can pull your ankles towards the block, and this helps you to align your bones. So lift your toes, look down at them, and spread them out and press them back down. And then just kind of move your body's weight from your toes back to your heels and just kind of drift to the left side of your feet and the right side. Of course, the upper body might move a little bit too, but really it's about finding the foundation of the feet. And so then once we get that nice connection to the ground, your knees are right above your ankles and your knees are extending in front of your hips. So again, this helps to align our bones so that the energies flow a little bit easier. You can turn your palms facing sky, bring your forefinger and your thumb together, you can rest your hands to your lap, and just start to feel your spine. You might even move a little bit forward towards the front of the pelvic floor and adjust back towards the tail. It's getting the sense of the next set of foundation points, which are the sitting bones, the perineum, and the sphincter. And once you have that connection, feel your shoulders drop away from the ears. The chin is level, the crown of head extending upward. And then if it feels good for you to close your eyes, that's really nice to do because then we start to draw our attention inward, draw our senses inward, pratyahara. And as we close our eyes or look towards the heart, we can start to notice that we're breathing. So bring your attention to your next breath and just notice if it's entering your nostrils or the open mouth. And as you inhale, feel the air coming in through your nose, down into your abdomen. And then on your exhale, I'm going to invite you to exhale through the open mouth, the gentle clearing breath. Let's do several more. Inhale, filling the nostrils with the air. And then on your exhale, opening the mouth, releasing the air. And as you begin this again, notice that your pelvic might start to move with the inhale. So you might inhale and notice that your tailbone begins to turn ever so slightly towards the back of the chair. And as you exhale, the tailbone gently comes a little bit forward. So just notice that movement already just by accessing the breath, inhaling and then exhaling. Sherry, I know you're there. I don't hear the music. Maybe you're fixing the music. So the inhale, tilting your pelvic bowl forward. And then as you exhale, I hear it now. As you exhale, feel that tailbone drawing forward. I was supposed to tell you to turn the music on, wasn't I? Blaming it on her, it's my fault. So just start to feel the spine, that natural movement. Inhaling, accessing the pelvic, the sacral area. And see if you can allow this movement to start to work its way a little bit upward. Middle back, the shoulders. Inhaling, the spine lifts. Exhale, the spine lowers. So this natural wave-like motion of the spine is always there, but sometimes we're just, really involved with our thoughts and we're not connecting to that natural movement of the spine. Sitting in a chair is one of the easiest ways I feel to access that natural wave, because your feet are pressing into the floor. You're not all, cramped on sitting on the floor. I mean, I love Sukhasana, but I personally love to do this here because then the wave starts to happen a little bit easier. So hopefully you can tell my spine is moving here a little bit more. So we're going right into cat and cow. Now from here, bring your hands to your knees. Grab your kneecaps, press your shoulders down. It might seem like we're going to move our chest first, but bring the awareness to the tail and begin to tilt the tail back. Now the belly and pelvic bowl moves forward. And then as you begin to round the spine begins to naturally curl and flex. And you can even start to accentuate this movement, inhaling and then exhaling. Lastly, dropping the chin towards the sternum. On the flexion and on extension here, lifting the chin. So now we're going to get into the whole spine. Several more. Inhale. Big exhale. So as we begin to move, our bodies are already communicating, right? That's what we're here to do, is hold space for our bodies just as they're unfurling. So not moving too fast, moving in a way that we can really listen. We don't skip over things. So you're going to start to notice, perhaps what I'm noticing is certain areas of the spine are pretty mobile. And there are other areas in my personal spine that are not as mobile because I have some injuries. So if you have any injuries or tightness along the spinal column, we're just holding that in our awareness so that we don't push or prod through those special places, right? We're just breathing space, breathing mobility, accentuating the breath, exhaling, letting tension dissolve. So I often tell people in the floor practice that this exercise is very, very nice sitting in a chair, so that you can add this into when you're sitting in the kitchen, right? In your kitchen, your living room, wherever you are at your job, out in the world, who knows, at an airport, anywhere there's a chair. Chances are we're sitting in chairs more often than we're sitting on our yoga mat for most of us. So using this chair as a functional tool to help to keep the body healthy. We're opening up our central channel here, our central highway. Let's do about 30 more seconds. I know we've been doing it for a while, but the more we do these movements, the more our body will release. and understand what the mind is asking it to do, which is just to find the natural movement. Pushing into all four corners of your feet helps you to open up the heart, chest, and lungs as you come forward. And as I'm pulling my heart forward, I'm keeping my shoulders down, keeping the arms hugging the sides of the body, the ribs. And these arms are like assistance to the spine, supporting the spine. Just a few more, and then I'm going to invite you on the last one to take a long inhale and gently hold the breath within the body as we stretch the spine. So when you're ready, I'm going to push my hands firmly into the thighs, lift the heart, take a deep breath. Deep breath, suspend the breath, just hold it in for a few moments, pull the navel in and up. You're taking this energy that you cultivated and you're extending it through the spine. And then when you're ready, hold on to your knees, round the spine, fully expel through the open mouth. Lean your heart towards the back of the chair like you want to touch it. Drop the chin as well as your shoulders. Feel the openness, the broadness of your middle back. Breathe into that space. I know it's not an easy place to breathe when we're folding forward, but see if you can. Take one big breath and then exhale. Now I'm going to invite you to either keep your eyes closed or just stay looking downward. And as you unfurl the spine from the base to the crown, let your hands slide up towards your hip creases. And as you arrive upright, please do pause and deeply breathe. Couple integrative breaths. Feel what you feel inside of the body. And let's place our right hand on our abdomen, our left hand on our heart. The gesture of coming home, as I call it. Coming home to you, yourself, your body, here today, here and now. And notice if things are shifting within. What's the weather like inside of your body? The temperature? Is there any wind blowing? What are you aware of? And then from here, take your right hand to your left into Anjali Mudra. Press your thumbs against your heart lightly. Pressing these hands together with evenness, balancing our brain hemispheres. And drawing a sense of devotion, devoting to what brought you here today. This personal question to the self. What would I like to cultivate more of in this practice today? Maybe there might be something I'd like to just release out of my body, my mind, my spirit. There's always a contrast. And to unify our energies, even though I can't hear you, you're on mute, but you can hear you. So join our voices together in the sound of oneness, the sound of Om. So when you're ready, take a deep breath in. And one more deep inhale. Exhale with a side chin towards your heart. Letting go into this moment. Opening the eyes and watching your thumbs as they rise over the crown of the head. Inhale, where your eyes go, the body's following. So opening up the upper back and the neck, and on your exhale, turn your palms out and just big exhales all the way down the auric field. And then let's gather our hands in front of the knees, through the lower chakras, through the heart. Inhale, watch your thumbs rise overhead. And a big opening, exhale. And then sweep your hands forward, gather energy from the earth in front of you into your energy. Lift up overhead. Big exhale. Let's do a couple more together, sweeping the arms forward, lower chakras into your heart. Inhale, looking up. Big releasing exhale, clearing that energetic auric field around our bodies as We are sponges. We pick up things from everything, everyone, everywhere we are. And then allow your arms to just weight heavily down to the sides for a moment. You can always bring your forefinger and your thumb back together to keep that circuitry with your brain and your liver and your gallbladder. Just taking this sacred pause to notice changes within. And then place your hands to your lap. So if the block between the legs ever gets too much, you can take it out. I like to keep mine there because it keeps that inner spiral of the upper thighs. I'm using my core muscles a little bit more, and it keeps the bones aligned, but it can get a little bit annoying. So let your shoulders drop and just start to tip over one side and then the other. It's okay for your sitting bone to lift. Just start to feel your spine like a flickering flame of a candle. And we're going to go into the Sufi grind. I think we did this last week on the floor. So we did circles. So we're going to bring our ribs over to the right, like we're looking for something beyond the right knee, hinging forward, gazing forward in front of our feet, over to the left side, and then round the back. You can even drop your chin, round the mid back, and then we'll do several more. Inhaling forward, exhaling. So much about exploration here. I find especially in this one, there's so much information that comes through. So I like to close my eyes just so I can feel the body a little deeper, hold space for things that come up. Feel your feet again grounding you if they're getting a little tight, just kind of open and spread them out. We might not be used to engaging our feet like this to the floor. And when you're sitting in your chair, you're really putting a lot of pressure into them. And so we're just exploring different sizes of circles. You can go a little bit more narrow. It's fun to try that, like within the frame of the pelvic and the inner sitting bones. And then you can gradually widen the circles, sort of like a spiral. I think we did the spiral exercise last week with the yoga strap. Inhaling for half of your circle, exhaling. Now we're going to add the neck roll. So release one ear towards the shoulders. You go to that side. Drop the chin to the chest, opposite ear towards the shoulder, and just float your head above the line of shoulder. So we won't get as much into the middle back when we do this with the neck, because I prefer to keep the neck nice and safe, just to bring the head above the line of the shoulders. And then as you come back to the center, gently pause and reverse your circles. You can pause with the neck roll so that we go back into the whole spine, and then we'll add the neck roll in this direction in a little while. I would love for you to keep that rounding of the spine for a bit. Inhaling half of your circle, exhaling for the other. And then when you're ready, tip that ear towards the shoulder, tilt it over, and then rounding forward, chin to the chest, opposite ear to the shoulder. Float your head above the line of shoulders back to that original side. And then again, several more. Inhaling and exhaling. Looks beautiful out there. Good flow. And then slowly floating up to center, we're going to take a few deep breaths, because it is possible that you could be dizzy. We opened up our brain stem a little bit there. We brought oxygen up to the brain. So let everything just settle in for a few moments and a few deep breaths. And then from there, sweeping the arms down alongside your body. We're going to do a sun breath. Inhale, gathering energy like you're holding the sun between your arms. And as the hands go above the crown, I'm going to invite you to look up. And on your exhale through your nostrils, imagine you're pushing a beach ball beneath the surface of the water. So it might take 1 or 2 breaths. So when you get the hands all the way in front of the pelvic floor, do a little sweep out. And then drop the arms down. Inhale, gathering energy, helping to extend the spine a little bit more. And then exhale through your nostrils. Soften through your elbows, your shoulders, your wrists, even your finger joints. And a few more at your breath's pace. The next time the hands are in front of the pelvic floor, just going to rest the hands down, let the shoulders recover for a breath or two. What I'm starting to notice is internal spaciousness. I can't see that, but I can feel it. I can sense that I'm creating space by doing these gentle movements and this deepening of the breath. Now from there, we're going to move into our side body. So release your left hand down alongside you. Now, I don't know what kind of chair you have. So sometimes it's nice to grab the arm of the chair. Sometimes you can put the heel of the hand in the chair. I try not to see how my arm is back there. I'm going to try to keep it more to the side. So I'm going to take my hand to the chair leg. But then take your right arm, begin to bend the elbow. We're just going to lift that right arm up and over like a big arcing wave over and beyond your left knee. So just let your chin tuck. And as the fingers touch maybe the shin on that left leg, turn your palm facing sky and open up the arm back to the right. And we'll do a few more. Inhale, big breath in as you take this arm in an arcing wave-like motion beyond that left leg. Turn the palm facing sky and take that arm back over. Big circles, lovely. Tuning into the breathing one more time. This time as the arm comes up and over to the left, I'm going to invite you to place your hand. You could grab your knee or just beyond the knee and drop the right shoulder. Bring your chin to your chest, kind of lean towards the right hip. So it's almost like I'm trying to pull something out of my right hip pocket. I'm just leaning towards it. Again, soften your right shoulder and your chin to chest. See if you can notice what's happening in the back of your right shoulder and shoulder blade area. Take a deep breath there. The torso lifts on the inhale and the torso lowers on the exhale. Softening with every out breath. And then release your arm over to the left, so it's going to cross. And then float all the way up and over to the other side. Let your shoulder melt like a feather, your elbow, your wrists and fingers, and then bring that hand to the chair, wherever you'd like it to be, and then arcing the left arm up and over. Beautiful, like a big wave, arcing beyond the right knee, and as the fingers come down, maybe even touch the outer leg, sweep your palm facing sky as you bring the arm back over to the left, and do several more. Now, at the end of the practice, I'm going to invite you to remember a few things that really worked for you. So just keep that in mind as you're going along this process. Like, oh, this feels good. I feel like I'd like to do this. Maybe in everyday life. And the next time the arm is over to the right, I'm going to land the hand on the outside of that right knee or leg. Drop the shoulder. And again, I'm leaning, as you can see, I'm leaning towards the left hip, dropping the chin, surrendering the left shoulder. And then identify the back of your left shoulder, your shoulder blade wing. Take a deep, deep breath into that space. And then let it go. And again, you'll feel your trunk want to lift a little because you're actually filling your body with air, just like that physio ball. And then as you exhale to your, it's like you're letting out the air of the physio ball, but your body's the physio ball. And then release the arm over to the right. We're just going to bring it all the way back up and over. And we're just going to go from side to side. So I'm going to grab the leg of the chair. So instead of not grabbing anything, like if I just let the hand come down, I don't feel as safe on that side. So that's why I grab something solid. And it's also to traction the opposite side. Beautiful, that looks great. And so we often do this exercise in cross-legged on the floor and easy pose. So these are just, same things, just done on the chair. Now, if you want to begin to bend the elbows a little bit more so that top arm comes over the head, and then just float it up like the wind is blowing you from side to side. Finding the grace in your body. Beautiful. Let's do 2 more. Next time you're upright, let's go ahead and take our pause, rest the hands to the lap, maybe look down or closing the eyes down. Deeply breathe and feel. Be aware. And then we're going to release our arms alongside. Give them a big shake. Like a big sloshy shake, shoulders all the way down. Maybe even give a little shimmy to the torso. Good, and then we're gonna hinge forward. Let your hands come towards the floor. Drag your shoulders towards the screen in front of you, up towards your ears, back, and then down. So we're gonna go into our spine a little bit more here as we fold over the thigh bones, bringing the shoulders forward, up, back, and around. So let's call this the level 1 shoulder roll. This is a really nice place to be. Let's say if your shoulders are injured, or if you ever, come across that experience with it, which is no fun, you might not be able to do the full shoulder roll that we're going to do in a moment with our elbows or just the lengthened arms. So this is a good place to come back to. Option to stay with the shoulders or to now lead with your elbows. Good. So with the elbows leading, now we're really opening up that heart, chest, and lungs in the front of the shoulders. I like to think of my body more anatomically. I can see the outside, what's happening in the inside, right? We're stretching our connective tissue. We're making space inside of our bodies. And then the last option is to reach the arms long like you're swimming. Beautiful. The very next time the hands are behind you, I'm going to invite you to press them into the chair. If you can get the heel of the hand into the chair, beautiful. And then slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Take a little lift of the chin. This is like a seated Ustrasana camel pose. On inhale, drop your heart. And you're going to look forward. On exhale, lift your heart, look upward. And then again, drop the chest and heart. Exhale to expand and open. And then just marinate here for a couple more breaths. See if you can allow your breath to enter the upper chest area below your collarbones. You could even shift the body's weight from heel of hand to heel of hand like I'm showing here. And then from here, pushing away from the chair, let your hands come onto the lap. Take a moment to pause, relax your shoulders. If you would, bring your attention to your chest, your shoulders, and your spine, and notice if anything feels a little different. I just feel a little bit more spacious in the front of the body. I feel like my posture, even though I'm sitting upright, I'm a little bit more relaxed while doing that. You might feel something different. And then let's do something for our wrists. So first of all, rub your hands like you have soap. And then shake your own hands. Just roll out the wrists as you breathe. And then undo and redo your finger lacing, but do it awkwardly. You'll know when you're awkward because it'll feel awkward. And then do that rolling of your wrist again. And then interlace your hands, press your palms away from your chest, bring your shoulders down, and then begin to elevate the arms over the head, keeping a significant bend in the elbows. So we'll do our halo circles. So very slowly begin to bring the hands around the perimeter of the head. You'll get a little bit more movement here in the upper back as well. Just breathing into the circles. And then gently pause, reversing direction. And then come back to center. Let your hands float away from each other. Bring your arms parallel to the ground. Imagine there's a wall to your right and left. Just kind of stretch towards the walls. Nice. Coming back to center, turn your fingers towards the camera, towards the ceiling, and then all the way towards the floor. Woo! And then again, it's like, yeah, where's my fingers? Turn them all the way forward, up towards the ceiling and all the way down. And then stretch your fingers out and just open and close the hands with a little bit of energy here. A little Kundalini, a little give me Kriya, give me healing and energy, vitality, compassion for myself, acceptance for myself, therefore compassion for others and acceptance of others, kindness, what else? Community, a vacation. And then your heart was listening, so bring all of those want me's right over the crown and right into your heart. Let the shoulders relax for a moment. Let's just take a couple integrative breaths here. And then we're going to energize the hands. Press your elbows out to the side. Press your hands together right in front of your heart. Bring your shoulders down like there's a wall between your hands and you're pushing. Take a couple deep breaths here. Fully exhale. One more big breath. One more big exhale. And then separate your hands again. Press the walls away. But then just roll your shoulders forward and back. Your hands can relax. Rolling your shoulders forward and back. Breathing. One more time. And then begin to fold at the elbows, combing the air through your fingers. It's going to feel like a nice release for your shoulders. So as the hands come down, the shoulders completely release down. Breathing in and out. And then reversing the direction. And then see if you can go bigger here, if that feels all right. Imagine you're in water. Good. And then, let the arms recover. Hands on the lap is nice because then the shoulders feel supported so that they can soften. Just like life, we work a little, then we rest a little. Hopefully we rest more than we work, but who knows, right? Deepening your breath. Feel your shoulders. Wow, mine feel quite a bit different now. We've done quite a few things for them, but that's attached to everything up here, right? Your chest, your upper back. And so from here, bring your arms back alongside you. And I don't know what kind of chairs you have. Hopefully you don't have big arms along the side. So we're just going to swing the arms fore and aft. Let's add our it's like skiing, but it's sitting in a chair. Now we're going to bring our hands up and over, tap your upper back, give yourself a pat on the back because you showed up to yoga. Beautiful. Couple more. And then take your arms and cross. Be careful if you have, a big chair back behind you, but just cross your arms. See if you can alternate the arm that's in front of your chest. Breathing every time. And then let the arms movement play themselves out into stillness. And then just kind of flop them right onto the lap again. Closing down the eyes or looking downward once again, checking in, noticing what do you feel, what are you aware of. So it said that the spine is able to move in 6 different directions. We did extension and flexion, we did side lateral. Now we've got to do a rotation and then we'll be done with that. I'm going to readjust the block, so if your inner legs are like, oh my gosh, getting a workout there, go ahead and readjust it. I like to keep the block in the middle for this because this helps us to not torque and contort out of the position. So let your arms release down and imagine you're hugging a big, big tree, like a grandmother tree. So we're just going to round the arms, bring the shoulders down, take a deep breath from belly to chest. And as you exhale, just rotate your belly button towards the inner left leg, just that much. Inhale, come back through center, navel towards the inner right leg. So just getting a sense of the rotation of your lower back. Inhale, center, exhale to the inner left. Nice and slow. Inhale, center. And as you exhale to the right, just float your left hand down. You're going to hold the outside of the leg. Now this right arm, I'm going to touch some part of the frame of the chair so that it can help me to pull this right shoulder down. Now bring your head center if you would. Take a deep breath into your belly first. And then the navel begins to rotate and radiate a little bit more to the right. Then we begin there. From the navel, inhale, lower ribs on that right side. Maybe the ribs will rotate a little bit more. There's no goal to go anywhere that doesn't feel right, so it's really personal here. And then breathe belly, lower ribs, upper chest. And then as you exhale, keep pressing your shoulders down. Begin to gaze over the back shoulder. Deepening the breath. With every exhale, the shoulders melting towards the hips. So now when you're ready to come back, super important that we do it on an exhale. So take a deep breath in. Turn your left palm facing sky. That releases the hand and the arm. And just soften that right arm down towards the floor. As you exhale, please start at your belly button and then sequentially move up through your spine until you're back to the center. Head is the last to rotate to center. When you arrive, let's allow the spine a few deep breaths of integration and to reset itself before we do the other direction. So deepening the breath. Sometimes the misaligned vertebrae, the subluxated vertebrae, they actually realign when we come back into stillness. So sometimes that can happen. So it's really important that we allow that integration period. And then we'll prepare for the other side. So releasing the arms down again towards the floor. Big, big rounding of the arms as we inhale. Shoulders drop down on exhale. Navel towards the inner left leg. And just lower the arms. Place your right hand on the outside of the left leg. And again, I'm going to bring my back arm down. I'm using the frame of the chair to pull that left shoulder down. Bring your head center. So again, we'll find the breath in the abdomen first. And then rotate and radiate the navel toward the inner left leg on your exhale. And then from your belly to your lower ribs on the left side. And then maybe you radiate a little bit more from those lower ribs to the left. Keep allowing your shoulders to melt. Breathing belly, ribs, upper chest, shoulder. And then begin to gaze towards your back shoulder. Just taking your eyes as far as they can to the left. Just noticing what you're able to see there. Keep the breath flowing up and down the spine. Front spine, back spine, left and right sides. And then when you're ready to release this stretch and this twist, take a deep breath. Turn your right palm facing the sky and begin at your belly button again. See if you can slowly unfurl the spine. Head is the last thing to turn back to center. Everything is done really nice and slow. And as you return, pause. Breathe deeply. And I've got great news. We're going to go ahead and remove the block that's between the legs. See if I could angle this a bit. I want you to be able to see down here. Yeah. So what I'm going to do with these blocks is I'm going to place them right in front of the feet on their highest level. Okay. And we're going to go into a modified forward fold. So level 1 forward fold is actually here. So you bring your forearms to the thigh bones and extend your spine as you look down, which will extend the neck. So let's just say you're sitting in a chair for a long period of time. What usually happens is the muscles along the spine, especially the lower back, start to grab, like those erector spinae muscles. So this is a really nice place to remember to come to if you've been sitting or driving too long. So you can just use the arm bones to support your lower back by pushing them into the thighs. Take a deep breath or two while we're here, and then we'll go further if you'd like. Inhale, and as you exhale, slide the shoulders towards the hips. And as we breathe into our belly space, we're literally breathing into our lower back. So if you went lower than where we're going now and that didn't feel right for you, if you have had a recent surgery of the heart or the eyes, you might stay here. Otherwise, place your hands to the highest level of the blocks and just bend your elbows and let your torso hinge and fold over the bent legs. This is a Uttanasana in chair yoga. So a forward fold. And then inhale, push into your hands. We're going to do half lift. So the hands push, the arms extend, the spine extends, and you're looking forward. And then hinge at the elbows, hinge at your hips. Unfurl the spine over the legs. Let your chin drop towards your chest. And then we'll do a few more. We're just going to flow. Inhale, push into your hands. Lengthen the arms, extend the spine, gazing forward. And then exhale, fold. And again, push into your hands. Of course, also the feet and the sitting bones. Lengthen the arms, extend the spine. Exhale, hinge, bend, and fold. And the next time we're in a jackknife position, so when our arms are lengthened, we're looking straight down. All I would love for you to do is just walk your arms forward with your blocks until the arms extend like that. And you're going to feel a lot more stretch in the middle and upper back. So once your arms are fully extended in front of you, drop the chin towards your chest and feel the whole back, but mostly the middle back, the upper back, getting a little bit more attention here. But this is definitely relaying into the sacroiliac joint. We're opening up that space there. Take a deep, deep breath. A full releasing exhale. One more big, big breath. Big exhale. And then walk your blocks right back in front of your big toes. Come into half lift so the arms extend. Pause here, looking straight down, because it is very possible that we're going to be a little dizzy. So bring your hands to your uppermost thighs, press down to rise up on your inhale. And I'm going to scoot forward just a little bit, feeling the feet grounded, and let's take a couple recovering breaths here. That's a really big opening for the spine. Notice what you feel within. Good work. And then from here, we'll just go ahead and move the blocks out of the way. And I think you can see my feet, which is great. Let me see. Back. Okay, perfect. So just going to start to pedal the feet. Because boy, they've been down there rooting for us for a while. So pedal, pedal, pedal. Again, this is something that, you can do anywhere. Of course, any of these things are, but this is nice because, we wear shoes a lot. We lose the connection with our feet and our ankles. Press your feet down, open up your right foot. So see how I'm spreading the toes out of that right foot. Lift and lower from the heel all the way to the ball of that left foot. Then I'm going to put my left hand on my hip, lift the heel and start to roll around the foot. So we start at the foot, So I'm going to look down. I'm going to make sure that I'm pushing from the great toe to the pinky toe around the outer foot, the outer heel, the inner heel, and the arch. And I'm just using this hand to accentuate what else is happening, which is we're moving the ankle, the knee, and the hip all at the same time. And I'm giving the knee a little love massage there. And then go from your pinky toe to your great toe, then the inner arch, which can be tricky, right, depending on the shape of our foot. So now it's internal rotation for the lower kinetic chain, ankle, knee, and hip. And then from there, pause. I'm going to close my eyes. I'd love for you to notice your left leg, the leg you were just working with. Is there anything different about that leg? Just being aware. All right, and then I'm going to open up the left toes because now that's the rooted foundation foot. I'm going to place my right hand on the right hip or thigh and just roll a few times the heel through the arch, the ball, and the toes. And then come up to the ball of that right foot and start to roll from the great toe all the way to the pinky toe. It's like you're, like you've got like a rolling pin, right? And you're rolling your foot out, so you're broadening it. And then again, the foot is getting some love, but let me bring my hand to my knee here. We're also moving the ankle again, the knee and the hip externally from the midline. Are you rolling around the heel of the foot, that dense material of the heel? Give it some circulation. And then go from your pinky toe to your great toe, internal rotation of this leg. Breathing in and out. These things might seem simple, but really I find them difficult to coordinate the mind and the body. So it's all about the practice. And then release that again. Let's take a moment to check in, maybe close your eyes or look downward. And notice that right side. Does it feel any different? And is there a little bit more balance between the two sides since we work with both now? And now this is where we're going to grab our yoga strap that's hopefully wrapped around your chair. And then I'm going to take my right foot, I'm going to spread the toes out because we're going to work on our left side, okay? So we're just going to put the strap across your lap, take a deep breath, and then exhale, bring your hands to the hamstring belly of your left leg. Bring your shoulders down, elbows in, the spine stays nice and erect. We're just going to work with the ankle here. Gravity is helping us to get more mobility in our ankle. So we're just going to breathe and circle. And then pause, reversing. So this is a series I do often standing. It's much easier in the chair. And then let that lower leg just begin to swish from side to side, loosening from the knee all the way down to the foot, which is kind of challenging. And then make some circles around the left knee. So a dangling circle. Believe it or not, these are all still warm-ups. We're still getting into the practice. And then go the other direction. It's really just endless what we can do on the chair. And then push the leg out, push through your heel. And as you bend the leg, do the flippity flop, as I like to call it. You probably heard my knee. Press and then release. Beautiful. And as you press, really push through the heel and release. One more time. And then bring your strap and place it on the arch of the foot and stretch the leg up to the sky. Now, I'm going to keep my shoulders down, elbows in. I'm just going to do a little saw on the bottom of the foot, the heel, the arch, the ball. Just a few passes. And then take both straps into your left hand. Open up that left leg, and as you do so, press this right arm out to the side. Bring your left shoulder down, elbow hugs the ribs. Breathing in and out. And then we're going to cross over towards that right shoulder and back open beyond the left shoulder. Just a few of these. I know this is a little bit more challenging. Now, as the leg goes over to the right, let it cross over. You can just drape that extra strap right over your lap. I'm going to walk my right foot into the center and keep the toes forward. So it's like you're sitting in a chair, cross-legged. So we're going to interlace our hands just below the knee onto the shin and lift the knee towards the center of the chest, not out to the shoulder, but right here, because you're going to feel this hip stretch here. Bring your shoulders down, hug your elbows in, breathe. Lower it down just an inch or two, inhale, and then exhale, lift it up a little bit. And then I'm going to take my right hand onto the left foot. I'm going to hold the left knee with the left hand. I'm just going to start to move the leg across the middle of the body. Call this rocking the baby. Beautiful. And then see if we can put the ankle on the right leg. I'm going to try to hang the foot off because I'm going to bring my fingers in between the toes. Boy, my feet are frozen. And then I'm going to keep a hold of that left knee, and I'm just going to roll the foot around the ankle. And then reversing. And then from here, lift your knee upward towards your shoulder and just give it a little press down a few times. Just a loving press down. And then you can hang out here, or you could bring your forearm to the inner shin and just begin to lean a little bit more over your lower body unit, your figure 4 here. So I don't know, if I don't see a lot of people sitting like this normally, but you really could, during your daily life, you could just throw the old leg up there and just do a nice hip stretch. So it's just a nice thing that you can do in the chair. It's pretty convenient. So allow your breath to deepen into the belly. Fully exhale. Just marinating into that left hip. Noticing where there's places of resistance, right? Those are our intimate places that only we know where they're at. And when they're there for a reason. So we're just here to meet them with deeper breaths, compassion. The posture, the stretch in and of itself helps to open up those places. And then we're going to cup our knee with our hand, lifting the leg. And you can just put the strap on that right leg. Hold on to your knee and shake the lower leg. Like you got water on your toes, but you don't have a towel. So you're going to shake it all off. And then let it dangle, dangle, dangle. Think of your lower left leg like a feather. Just let it float to the ground, coming up to a seated position. Pause and notice your left leg. Notice your left leg. Notice your left foot, ankle. All right, so you can put the strap on the left leg. I'm going to bring the feet in a little closer, roll up to the ball of the right foot, and then gather underneath your right hamstring. Take a deep breath. Exhale, lift the leg. We try not to lean back. Keep your nice plumb line, ears above shoulders, shoulders above hips, elbows reaching in towards the side body. Let's roll the foot around the ankle. Breath flowing in and out. And then reversing. And then let that little swishy releasing motion from your knee all the way down to your ankle and foot. And I often say that we're not taught to be relaxed or loose, right? So it's a skill, it's an art, learning how to direct the body into softness. And then circle around the knee as you breathe, dangling circles, and then the other direction. And then extend that leg in front of you, push through the heel, and then let that little flippity flop happen at the base there on the drop. And then extend, push, woo, release. A couple more. And then take your strap, loop it around the right arch, and send the leg in front of you. Drop your shoulders down, hug your elbows in, do the little saw. So the heel, the arch, the ball of the foot up and down. And then bring your shoulders down, press through your heel of your right foot and bring both straps into your right hand. Open up the leg. And I'm going to make sure I keep my left knee rather above the ankle, and then take your left arm pushing it out. Breathe into the inner leg, the pelvic, and then just cross over the midline towards the left shoulder and back to the right a few times. And as the leg crosses the midline, grab the straps into your left hand. You can throw all that excess material away, bring it across, take your opposite hand, pushing it away. Breathe in and out. And then just cross the leg right on over. And you can just put your strap behind you so it doesn't get in our way. And then align your left toes forward. Slide your hands just below your knee onto your shin. And then slide your knee towards the center of the chest. Pull your elbows in. Feel the outer right hip. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And then lower it a little bit on your inhale. Lift it a little bit on your exhale. Just a couple of those. So using a little muscular energy of the arms, but not too much. And then take your left hand to your foot, cradle your right knee with your right hand, rock your baby, side to side. My chair is slippery. And then bring that ankle onto your left thigh. And again, I'm going to interdigitize the fingers through my frozen toes. I'm going to hang that foot and just kind of roll the foot around the ankle. I'm going to hold on to this right knee. All the joints need lots of love. Beautiful. And then go the other way. All right. And then from here, lift the knee up towards your right shoulder and then gently press the knee down. Just a couple of those. This being my robo hip side has less range of motion, but that's okay. This stuff still helps. And then you can bring your forearm to the inner shin, and this just gives you an assist, right? You're just going to weight down a little bit. It's going to open up the hip crease a little bit more and the knee. Gazing down towards your figure four shape. Slide your shoulders towards your waist. Take a couple deep breaths. Relaxing your jaw, unhinging it, separating the teeth. Even move your jaw around a bit. When you're ready to exit this position, this shape, take a deep inhale, pull the navel and exhale, floating up, and then bring your hands just below your knee and give your lower leg a big old shake. And you got water on the tips of your toes, you don't have a towel, and let it float down like a feather, super slow. And as the foot returns, let's pause again, take a little inventory of the inner landscape of us. And then start to pedal the feet a few more times. From here, we're going to bring the blocks back into play. So I'm going to invite you to heel toe your feet out nice and wide. And then place the blocks down right in front of your chest. So just doing this, it's like we're going to be, trying to do a wide-legged forward fold, but we're on the chair. So this is very similar. But just to do this, you can feel how this is opening up all that inner leg there and the pelvic. So if you can bring your hands down to the blocks without lifting your hips, beautiful. If that's not an option, you can just stay upright, okay? So if your hands are down to the blocks, I don't know if you remember Suzanne Summers, the Thigh Master gimmick. I actually have one of those. Just start to pulse your knees back. Super little pulses, super slow little pulses. Breath in and out. And then inhale, press your knees back, hold that pressing of back, And then let your knees just kind of, I call it ricocheting back center. So we inhale, press them away from the center line. And then as you exhale, they just kind of come back to where they were. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, open the knees. And then exhale, let them kind of fall forward. And then one more time, inhale, press out and away from the center, and then let them come back in. And then again, press out, press into your big toes, bring your hands back up to your thighs, lengthen your spine, and we're gonna take our left forearm, place it mid-thigh between the knee and the hip, and then take your right hand to your shoulder and reach your elbow up to the sky. So we try not to collapse into our left leg. We're pushing away with the arm bone, reaching the right elbow up. Stamp your right heel of foot firmly into the floor. Feel this opening from here all the way up. Breathing in and out. Focus your vision to focus the mind, to deepen the breath. Beautiful. And then push away from that left forearm. Let your right elbow just come down, and it's just going to unfurl right to the thigh. And then bring the left hand on the left shoulder, lifting the elbow up to the sky, pushing the left heel of foot into the floor. Feel the left side of your body. Breathing in and out. Looks great. And then bring your left elbow down. Just let your left arm unfurl. Take a couple deep breaths. See if you can unclench the glute muscles here. And then from there, we're going to heel toe the feet back towards each other. You can even kind of close the blocks towards each other. Grab your yoga strap if you would again. We're going to do a couple more things for our shoulders and our chest and back. So let's bring our strap right in front of us, or whatever you got there, and pull it apart. And notice the difference when it's slackened or when you pull it apart. So when it's pulled apart, then you get all the space between your shoulders and your chest. Reach your knuckles down and then up toward the ceiling. So the wrists, the elbows, and shoulders are in alignment because we don't want to be up here. We don't want to strain our shoulders. We're just working the wrist a little bit here first. Beautiful. Keep the tautness, the pulling apart of your strap or your sash. And then bring your wrists into neutral so they're straight, and just slide your hands out a little wider, keeping that tension. We're going to start to inhale the strap towards the crown of our heads. And then exhale, bring the strap back in front of the heart. Now, the strap, well, mine is really long, so that as I start to come up and around the head, I might need to open up the hands wider. So if the shoulder begins to do this number to try to get there, that means the hands need to go wider. Now, as you come back center, keep pulling the strap between your hands. And then again, inhale. And again, if you need more space, just simply slide your hands out wider, which is why I like a yoga strap, because they're usually really long and really great for this exercise. Now, as you round forward, keep pulling the strap apart, tuck your chin, so flexing the spine. And now as you lift the strap above your head, look up, bring their strap right between your shoulder blade wings. Keep the tautness, the stretching between the hands as we round forward, inhaling. And as you exhale, open everything up. One more time. Inhale, rounds, curling that upper back. And then exhale, keep pulling the strap apart. We're going to land the strap between the shoulder blade wings. And then bring the chin level and just begin to rotate from the belly button towards the crown, side to side. Coming back to center, let your strap completely drop. Yes, and then let your hands just float back to your legs. I invite you to close your eyes or look downward. Even though the shoulders did a little work, I just want you to notice if there might be a little more spaciousness in front of the shoulders and between them and the chest area. Then from here, one more time, we're going to put the blocks back where they were originally, which is between the feet and between the inner legs. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I stand up off of a chair, sometimes I do this number, and then when I sit, I do this number. So I sort of twist and contort. So to avoid that, we're going to keep our blocks here and reach our arms in front of us. Bring the shoulders up, back, and down. This way we're not tempted. So what lifts us is our feet, right? So our feet start to press in, then our thighs activate our core and our glutes. Take a deep breath. Start to hinge forward, put the weight into your feet, squeeze the block between your legs, exhale, lift. I know I'm going to come out of the camera a little bit. Good. Beautiful. And then bring your arms back in front of you, shoulders down, bend your knees, trust yourself, hinge back, take your hips way back. Good job. It's all about the trust, right? Inhale, bring the weight forward into your feet, deep breath. Exhale. So this shows you don't need your hands, right? And then just let your arms come all the way down. Fix our clothes. All right, now we're going to just bend. Ooh, I don't know if you heard all that. Bend your knees and lengthen the legs. Just a few of these. So not so much of a fitness squat. We're just, again, mobilizing all these lower joints. And then from here, take your arms down in front of you. Inhale, gather all the way over your head. And then as you exhale, keep your torso upright. Just go release. Inhale, bring in some more energy. Inhale, lift. Big exhale. Couple more. Big releasing exhale. One more. And exhale. Excellent. And then just come all the way up to standing. We're going to remove our blocks at this time. And then we're going to take a meander behind our chair. And you can put your yoga strap or your sash off to the side so it doesn't get in your way. Now, so you're going to be standing like this, but I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my body. But you're going to be standing behind your chair, okay? So when you walk up to the chair like this, we want to feel that some part of our body is on the chair. Take your palms facing sky. Bring your forefinger and your thumbs together. Just let your wrists and hands hang over the top of your chair. Take a moment to feel your feet grounding you, little softness of the knees. Glute muscles are relaxed. Maybe the belly's touching the chair and you can really feel the access to your breathing here. Melt your shoulders down, chin is level. So we have this relationship we're building with the chair. It's not codependence, it's interdependence. So we have this connection with it, but we're not totally relying on it, but it's there for support. So from there, turn your right palm down and let the arm come in front of your shoulder and then maybe even above towards your head, and pour the weight into your right foot and just slide your left leg back. Maybe you come up onto the big toe. This is called Shalabhasana. So we open up the opposite line of the body, and then we're going to bring our right hand back down, land into your left foot. Shift the weight slightly left. Let your left arm begin to elevate in front of you. Could even come up above your head if you'd like. I'm shifting the weight into that left foot as I slide the right leg back. Maybe you come up onto the great toe. Feel that length of the front of the leg, and then slowly come back, landing your right foot and your left hand. One more time, shifting the weight over to your right foot, completely into that foot. Float that right arm up, slide your left leg back, extending through the great toe. And then bring your left foot back down, right hand. And then shifting the weight back to the left foot last time. Sliding your right leg back as you elevate your left arm. So we're going in opposite directions. And then slowly bring the foot back down. Left hand returns. So now we're going to go back into my all-time favorite stretch in chair yoga. It's called L stretch. So we walk our feet underneath our hips. Move this forward a little bit. Until your feet are under the hips, fully extend your spine and your arms and begin to bend and extend your legs. So I'm just bending, working with the ability to squat and then extend. A few more of these. There's no goal to get anywhere. I'm just mobilizing these lower joints. Breathing in and out. Now, as the legs are extended, keep a gentle softness of the knees. Release your right arm heavily to the floor. We're going to do these dangling arm circles, sort of like what we did for our knee, but this is for the shoulders. So they're dangling that arm. No effort. And then pause and go the other direction. Breathing in and out. Gaze is down towards the floor once you get what I'm doing. And then take the arm out to the right and then take it over to the left and see if you can tap the back of your left shoulder or shoulder blade. Just tap the body and then take the arm, swing it fore and aft a few times. And as the hand comes to the chair, just bring it right back on top and then release the left arm. Gaze is down, releasing the shoulder all the way to your wrist and fingers. Breathing in and out. And then reversing the direction. And then taking the arm out to the left, parallel to the floor, and then crossing over, giving a little tap to the back of your right shoulder, shoulder blade, side of body. And then bring the arm forward and back, loose swings, a few of them. And as the hand comes up to the chair, grabbing the chair, and then pull the navel in round the spine. So high cat tuck, look towards your chest or your navel, unfurl. Let it step forward a bit, lift the heart, and then just rock all the way from your heels to the tiptoes. Another one of my favorite things to do on the chair. So easy for this one. Let's say you're at somebody's house and you've been sitting on their couch for a long time or their chair. You could just come to the back of it, and just do some L stretching and a few of these things. And then as you pause, step your left foot forward. And I'm going to step my left foot forward so much that it's under the chair and my knee is touching the chair, if you can see that. My right hip is squared forward. I'm lifting my back heel and my knee drops down. The hands are starting here on the top of the chair. Bring your shoulders down and just kind of play with this back leg a little bit. Kind of let it come down a little bit and then lift. And then as it lowers, take your right arm down, out to the side, and just reach it up and over towards your left shoulder. Just going to get a little arcing here to the left. It's going to enhance the front of that right hip flexor stretch. My left knee is still in contact with the chair to take the pressure off the patella. One more big breath. And then exhale, float your right arm down alongside the right leg. And then take your right hand to the chair. Sweep your left arm down. We'll start with the hand here, but then we'll remove it in a moment if we can. We're going to take our left arm, arc it up and over towards the right shoulder. Now feel the left side of your body. If you need this chair support, beautiful, or you can just drop your right arm at this time. Breathe in and out. Building bone density in these standing poses. Come back up to center. Float your left arm all the way down and then bring both hands to the chair. I'm going to step my right foot in and straighten the legs. Then I'm going to lean over the chair and bring the fingers to the seat of the chair. So both hips are squared, and then lift your left toes. Bring your left hip back into its socket. Just take a couple breaths, feeling the calf stretch of the back leg and the hamstring stretch of the front leg. And then place your left foot down, rebend the knee so it's touching the chair. Float your right hand to the uppermost chair. Push your left hand to the center of the chair and turn your back foot in 45 degrees. Your left knee stays right above the ankle. We're going to go into lateral side angle. So my back foot is turned in a bit. My right hand comes to the hip first, and then the arm can reach up towards the sky, or my favorite position is by the ear. Some people do lateral side angle with the arm behind the back. Whatever feels right. Slide the shoulder down. Take a deep breath or two. And then if you want, straighten your left leg into triangle pose. One more big breath. And then exhale, rebend that left knee, bring your back arm parallel, and just lift your front arm. Look forward over that left hand into warrior two. So again, my left knee is still touching the chair for support. Just that little bit goes a long way. And then lower your back hand down. Look at your left arm and just let it arc up towards the ceiling, maybe a little bit towards your back foot. Feel the whole left side of your body opening here. And then just float your left hand to the upper part of the chair. We're going to turn and lift our right heel, take the right hand up, push back into L stretch. So let's walk our feet about as wide as our shoulders, bend the knees, extend the spine, and work on those squats again. So just bending and extending ankles, knees, and hips a few times. And then again, we're going to round our spine. So high cat tuck, curl, step towards your chair, and then step your right foot underneath. Step back with your left leg. Again, make sure if you need to pull the chair until it's touching your right knee. Drop that left knee under the hip. And just work with that back leg a few times. Just letting it sink straight down under the hip and then lift. And then drop the left arm down, reach it out to the side, and just reach it up and over towards the right shoulder. Feel how this enhances the front of that hip flexor stretch, indirectly stretching the psoas. Breathe in and out. And then float that left arm all the way down. Let's place it on the chair. Release your right arm down and then sweep it out to the side. We're going to just arc it up and over towards the left shoulder. And then you could keep your left hand for support on the chair. You could release your hand down to the outer leg. How's your breathing? Inhale, come back up to center. Release the arm down. And then we're going to lean over the chair and straighten the front leg, and then lift the front toes. Bring your right hip into its socket, gazing straight down. Again, feel the left calf belly now and your right hamstring. Take a couple deeper breaths. And then go ahead and place your right foot down, rebend the right knee. Keep your right hand on the chair beneath the shoulder. Turn your left foot in 45 degrees so you turn your whole body to the side. And then again, the arm can be 90 degrees by the ear, wrapped around the back. Press the outer plane of your left foot to the ground. Deep, deep breaths. And then if you'd like, straighten your right leg into triangle pose. And then rebending the right knee until it touches the chair. Float your left arm parallel, followed by your right, gazing forward over your right hand into warrior two. Beautiful, gazing over that front hand, focusing the vision, feeling the courage and the strength of being in this pose. And then lower your back hand down the back leg. Just let your front arm arc up and towards the back foot. Again, I'm not separating my knee from the chair. It's still touching, or whatever part of your leg, because we're all different lengths and we have different chairs. And then float your right hand down to the top of the chair. Pivot your left heel up, bring both hands to the chair, push back into L stretch. This time, if you would, take a narrow stance with your feet and just pedal a few times. Just pedal your feet. And then again, rounding the spine, we're gonna walk all the way up to our chair. We're gonna lift it. We're not walking anywhere, we're just turning it around. And we're gonna step just where we were. I'm gonna put our hands on the center of the chair. So now if you look down at the center of your chair, this has become your yoga mat. So look at it like your yoga mat. So spread your hands out really, really wide. We're gonna go into downward facing dog. It's very similar to L stretch, except we're just a little closer to the ground. So we walk our feet back just like we did before, under the hips, little bend of the knees. Let your torso sink down between the arms. Feel this opening across your middle back. You can inhale, push into your hands, lift a little bit. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Just a little lift of the torso, and then exhale. And then from here, I'm going to move my torso forward. I'm going to let my edge of my hips touch the edge of the chair into an upward facing dog. I'm going to hug the arms alongside and just open up through the heart, chest, and lungs. And then push back into downward facing dog. So it's like a little flow. So from downward facing dog, tuck your chin, rounding the spine, bringing the front or the edge of the hips to the edge of your chair seat. Inhaling and then exhaling back. One more time, and this time when we come forward, as we come forward, we're just going to bring one knee down and then the other. Perfect. Keeping your hands on the chair, we're just going to crawl back a little bit. We're going to come into child's pose. Bring your big toes to touch. Keep your hands pressing the chair and just let your hips drop towards your heels. Let your head completely surrender down towards the floor. You can even do a little rocking here like I'm showing, just a little movement in the trunk. Breathing in and out. And then from here, rounding the spine, coming up onto the high knees just for a moment. We're going to crawl to our chair and then turn one side to the chair. We're going to be coming down to Shavasana. So I'm going to use this arm that's on the chair to come down onto one hip, the hip that's closest to the chair. And then the legs extend naturally from there. And then you're going to bend your knees, push into the chair. And then I'm going to turn, take the other hand off the chair and just put your legs right up onto the chair. Now, depending on your chair, I have to kind of bring my toes to the sides of it, but we want as much of our lower leg on the chair. So do this a couple times just so you stretch from the valley of your kneecap all the way down. Bring your hands to the sides of the chair. This is to broaden the mid-back. Inhale, and then exhale, lower it all down. This is my favorite thing in all of chair yoga. To me, it's the most supported Shavasana pose because we're supporting our legs, we're supporting our spine. And as you release your arms, let your shoulders just release as well. The weight of your head heavy on the floor. This is very similar to Viparita Karani, modified legs up the wall pose, except your legs aren't straight up and down, but you still gain a lot of the benefits. We're redirecting blood flow and circulation from feet to head. The organs inside of the trunk are now settling towards the back of our body. Our heart doesn't have to pump as much blood right now to the whole body, so the heart rate slows, and therefore the pulse rate slows, and the blood pressure lowers. This is very calming for our mind. It takes the pressure off the legs. So while you're here, just noticing the natural breath of you. Scanning the body as you're resting. Just kind of noticing if there might be places you could soften a little bit more, like the glute muscles. Maybe you could wiggle the fingers or the toes a little bit. Or it's my little dog here. She was good up until now. Still good. She loves yoga. They love yoga, you know. But as you're resting here for the next several minutes, notice your mind and the quality of your thinking, not judging our mind in any way, because the mind does what it does, but just noticing if you can direct it back into your body, back into your breathing, to the music. And always tap into those simple words that acknowledge my mind that's just trying to build life for me. So I use these words on the inhale, the word all, and on the exhale, is well. All is well. And while you're here, noticing points of contact, back of the head, nice and heavy, like it's creating a little nest of sorts. Your shoulders heavy, relaxed, arms heavy, sinking into the floor, fingers relaxed, hands sinking into the floor. Just walk your attention up and down the spine a few times, noticing points of contact and areas of space. Excuse me. Notice your gluteal muscles unclenched. Your tailbone is free at this point, just kind of hanging out there. Sacred area, soft, relaxed. Muscles on the front of the thighs, just kind of hanging off the bones. Hamstrings relaxed. Calf muscles pushing into the chair, broadening out. Ankles, feet and toes. No effort in them. Then from here, bring your arms one at a time across your chest. Give yourself a hug. So I always do this in Shavasana. So holding the body this way and then elevating your head, shoulders back, lift off the floor and just rock and roll. Shoulder blade wing to shoulder blade wing. Maybe roll up and down the upper times. And then lower everything back down. Relax your hands, but allow the arms to stay for just a few more moments. Making sure that my friends out there have had at least one beautiful hug today from their best friend. And then just let the off the body, minimal energy. Let the elbows touch down like anchor points and unfurl the lower arms, hands and fingers. And then start to roll the feet around the ankles, maybe hands around the wrists, different directions, different ways. I like to flick all the fingers off the thumb, recirculating all the fingers. And then from here, do like a little inchworm back until your legs take some extension, but the legs will still be connected to the chair. And then from here, one of my other favorite stretches on the chair is just to reach your arms all the way behind you and then peel your tailbone, sacrum, lower back, middle back, upper back, stretching through your tiptoes, so pushing forward, and then flex the heels, and then push and flex, and then bring your arms right over your chest and begin to roll down, upper, middle, lower back. And when the hips touch down, let your hands all come all the way down as well. And take a moment to let your spine integrate that big stretch. And then bending your knees, bring the arches of the feet to the front of your chair. Let your feet separate as wide as your chair seat is wide, and just windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Coming back to the center, bring your bottoms of feet to touch, bring your hands to your inner knees, and just take a few breaths here. Let your knees splay apart. And then grab your knees, bring your knees towards your shoulders, pull your feet away from the chair. Now everything is off the chair, and we're just doing our good old rocking and rolling from side to side. Maybe some circling around the lower back. And then the other direction. And then reach your legs skyward and bend. Just push through the heels and fold at the knees and release your feet a couple times. Just bringing more energy back in. And then allow the legs to release. Bring one arm off to the side. Maybe it's the arm that'll face you towards the camera. So we're just going to roll onto our side, letting the head land on the inner line of the arm like a pillow, top hand on the floor. Completely surrendering here. Let your belly relax. Your hips, knees, and ankles support one another. And this is just a really nice way to come off the floor, a little kinder to the spine. So all I'm going to do with this top leg, I'm not going to lift it. I'm just going to slide it and push down into that hand that's in front of the heart. I'm going to gaze down and then use the other hand. Now the second hand, it would be kind of unnatural to try to come up through this side, right? So that second hand, I'm just going to crawl. So you're taking the long way around, but you're going in the natural direction. And you just crawl back to your chair. And then when you get to your friendly chair, take your favorite foot, put it down, and then the other. And then forearms stay on the chair. One more stretch. You can bring your forehead to the chair all the way. And just take a moment here to breathe. And then bring your hands onto the chair, lengthen your arms. And what I do is I walk all the way up to the chair until some part of my leg is touching it. Then I bring my hands to the upper part of the chair to lift the torso. And when that happens, then I can just give a little push back. And then I'm going to invite you to turn your chair forward and come back to a seat. All right, and once we're back in our chair, bring our right hand to our abdomen, our left hand to our heart space. You went on a journey, a chair yoga journey, just noticing, how do I feel right now? Just like any yoga practice, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the integration. When you start to move throughout your day today, I'd love for you to be present, because to me, which is why I love this practice, I feel more spacious than I do from pretty much almost anything else other than the ball work that I do. But this really offers us deeper stretches in a very supportive way. So just being aware if you feel that when you start to move again, or whatever that you do feel. Let's bring our hands home to our hearts, honoring this beautiful heart that brought us here together today, and sharing our voices in the sound of oneness, the sound of Om, taking in a deep, deep breath. Om. deep inhale, exhale with a sigh. Chin to your heart. Thanking your heart and your whole being, just being exactly who you are, and taking this time for you, for your health, for your well-being. Namaste, Jai Bhagwan, Satnam, Aho. So if Miss Sherry's around, she can pause the music. She's so good. Look at that. Thank you, Miss Sherry. So I'm gonna bring you on gallery so I can see everybody. Beautiful. I'm gonna find my favorite chair, actually. My notebook. So can you unmute yourselves here? See if anybody can unmute. Mary's unmuted. Hi, Mary. How are you?
Good.
Good. Yay.
Better now.
Yay. I know, right? So nice. I'm just looking at all of you. Oh my goodness. It's so cool to see all your homes. How did this work for you guys? How did it work for you, Mary?
Good. I was surprised. I've never done chair yoga before. And I felt it in different parts, especially the twisting. I felt it more in my upper thoracic, which I don't necessarily feel on the floor. Yeah, I was surprised at different areas. I was doing the same stretches, but feeling it in different areas of my body.
That's interesting because, when we do the twist on the chair, that's how I always say use your hands, to prop. So the outer leg and that back arm, right, is going to give you that access to this part. So just having that chair there is really good for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
I liked that. Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else want to share anything? Then we're going to go into our journal prompts, but love to hear from anybody. Chessie, you're unmuted.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello. I actually got a much deeper stretch in the grinding from the chair position than normally from the ground. Definitely, even with the back of the chair behind me on the back side, it was definitely a fuller experience.
I like that, a fuller experience. Yeah, I sense that too. Because you don't have to, you're not all, it's a beautiful thing to sit on the floor, but it's not natural for us all the time. What's more natural is sitting in a chair. And Miss Sherry and I met when we worked at Canyon Ranch. She was working at Kripalu and I was at Canyon Ranch and she was working there. And they used to tell us to say that the chair affected our health like a cigarette. That's how it affects our health because it compresses our spine and our organs. So when we start to have this different kind of a relationship with the chair, then we don't have as many of those, situations happen. Like we can really find the space within our bodies while we're sitting in the chair. Yeah. Thank you for that.
I'm someone who sits in a chair 8 hours a day, at the computer. And so I was looking forward to this chair yoga. I've never done it before. So there's definitely parts, the shoulder opening. So instead of hunching over with the keyboard, being up and just various, so keeping the hips open and the back and everything has been very helpful.
And also just sitting in the chair is different, right? That we're not sitting back. I mean, I'm tiny, so I have to bring my feet forward. But most of the time, I find that people aren't connecting their feet to the floor. That's a part of it. Like it starts there. When your feet are connected, then everything starts to align from there. So always just remember that when you're sitting in your chair. Now, I want to show you what I use, Julianne. I use a kneeling chair. Have you ever seen these? So this is amazing. So you sit like this. So it takes, it's just so wonderful. This is not the most expensive one, but if you can see, I'm here and I can rock the pelvic. And it's really fun. It keeps things moving, right? So you can move your spine. The knees and the shins are completely supported on that pad down there. So I love this when I'm sitting, if I don't want to sit in the chair longer or too long, I use that kneeling chair. or this ball. So yeah, I hope that helped you. And, you know, and also just, you know, just doing this, right? If you're sitting for a long period of time, if, you know, because I know this is where we're going, right? So we just want to do this every now and again. When you're sitting there for that long
Yeah,
period of
that
time.
cat and cow is definitely very helpful.
Totally. You
Yeah.
can do that driving too. My son, he was on a road trip and he's like, Mom, my back is really tight. And I said, hold on to the steering wheel and just do your cat and cow, do the extension and flexion. And he goes, wow, just a few really helps. You can do it while driving. Of course, you keep your eyes on the road, 10 and 3 or 10 and 2, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's beautiful feedback. Anybody else want to share anything?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
surprised how hard it was to keep a block there. Like, that must be pretty weak. But yeah.
Oh, look at your big baby. Oh,
Yeah.
hello, boo-boo. Oh my
Beautiful.
goodness.
Yeah.
So cute.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And so I like it there because it challenges me to use those core muscles and those pelvic floor muscles a little bit too, right? All of that stuff that we just kind of like, you know, when we're sitting, everything is just relaxed. So it makes you kind of, you know, hold a little integrity in your frame and your deeper muscles. Yeah. You might feel a little sore from that tomorrow. Anybody else want to share? Drew? Uh-oh. Looks like it's unmuted. There you go.
Mm-mm.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Not. I'm sorry.
Drew, if you're on a mobile device, you need to click join audio, which is in the bottom left-hand corner of your Zoom screen.
Not
No.
working. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Anybody else want to share before we get into our journal prompts? Did you like it overall? Was it a thumbs up or one up, one down
Yeah.
kind of thing?
It was great. Great.
Okay. How about you, Christy? What do you think?
I'm also one of these sit in the chair for 8 hours a day people. So I had mixed feelings about sitting in the chair for yoga class today,
Right.
honestly, to be true.
Yeah.
But I actually got a lot out of it. Not just for what I can do while I'm sitting in my chair, but I was surprised at how deep the stretches really could be because I started with a really tight back this morning and it feels a lot better. So I'll definitely be incorporating some of this during my workday. For sure.
Nice, nice. And the recording is there if you forget, you know, definitely go back and revisit it because it's a lot. I mean, that was only tip of the iceberg, to be honest. There's so many things we can do in the chair. I love to do the standing postures too, right? Because we're getting the benefits, the strengthening of our bones, but without all the pressure on the knees when we go into these lunges all the time in our regular practice, you know, in and out of things. So I feel like it's a little bit more mindful, you know, pressure into the joints, which is why I love that chair for that. Wonderful. Anybody else? Susie, how'd you do down there?
I did okay. I'm a school teacher, so I'm on my feet 8 hours a day. I have a standing desk, but my kids are accustomed to me throwing myself on an empty desk and putting myself into like a seated pigeon while we're holding discussion. So this was nice. I was challenged by the standing poses because of my own health issues, which I take care of. But I'm a yoga teacher and I took a break from yoga this year because of those issues. So I've been really grateful for our time together because it's helping me stay connected to what I love. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Susie. And I've taught chair yoga to kids in schools. Like, it's amazing. Like, yeah, you can just say, hey, you guys are getting tired. Let's just do a few sun breaths, you know, just simple things, or, you know, get off the chair, stretch, you know, put your hands on the back and do some stretches. And then they all get involved with it. So that's awesome that you are a yoga teacher and a school teacher. Beautiful. Jess, how are you down there?
Excellent. It was lovely. Absolutely lovely. I'd never done the chair yoga either. So, and I'm also sitting at my desk all the time. So it's, yeah, really wonderful, from just being able to do it at work to maybe when I'm traveling and I don't want to get on the grubby hotel floor, I can do it in a chair. So
No,
this is
that's a good
excellent.
point. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point. I never thought of that. Like sometimes you just don't want to get on the ground that's available right there, right? Wow, that's so great. Well, let's see, we got 15 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and the first prompt is, can you list 5 qualities from this practice that you noticed or felt during or after the session? So some of this might, continue, but I said sense of beingness, spaciousness, groundedness, contentedness, like santosha, like I feel content in my body, but you might have other qualities. So just a list of some qualities that you might be sensing either now or when you were doing the practice. And I'm going to put these on the Facebook group again, like I did last time. So they'll be there for you. And if you've gotten those, what are 3 exercises from this practice that you would like to recall? Like 3 things. And the final inquiry is, do you think that you could integrate those 3 exercises into your daily life? And if so, how? And if anyone wants to share any of those, the qualities or the exercises or how you think that you could integrate them into your daily life, I'd love to hear anybody offer anything. Remember last week we talked about health appointments, right? Scheduling health appointments. And I did put something on Facebook, only Julianne is really into it. Thank you so much, Julianne, for being there on our Facebook group and interacting. And it's there for us. So like I do check-ins and add things during the week. So I did mention like, health appointments. Like, did anyone work any of that in this? I mean, I know that we're all busy people and it doesn't matter if you did or not. It's just, just for us to share. Christy, you got a chance to?
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yes, I did. And I actually did what you suggested. I put something in I keep a journal all day because I'm in a lot of meetings. And so I actually booked myself an appointment. Booked myself a meeting.
That's
So that
so
was good. Yeah. And
Did
then
you
I just had to
did you
take,
keep it?
I did. I was a few minutes late, but I kept it. And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take the rest of the afternoon.
I love that. I love that. That is so great. Yay. Can I ask you, what was your health appointment? Would you share that with us, or is that private?
I did the class you posted.
Okay, perfect.
I gave myself all that time, which is like, no way. I mean, I have one of those jobs where I'm always, working. So that was really like a turning point for me, honestly. It was.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you. I was happy.
What a great health appointment to just redo the class. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it's there for. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to share anything either about your health appointments or anything, qualities, exercises that you might want to integrate into your daily life?
Well, we usually watch some television after dinner, and I've gotten into the habit of sitting on the floor and doing some like hip openers and stretching each evening for 10 minutes or so. And I love that.
That's awesome. That's really, really good. Why not, right? I mean, if you're going to watch TV, like it's a perfect time to just integrate that in. That's
And now
wonderful.
I don't even have to sit on the floor. I can do it from sitting on the couch. My new things I've learned.
Well, the only thing about the couch, depending on your couch, is it sort of is a little mushy, right? So
True.
just being aware of that. I always like to make silly jokes, as many of you know, but my first yoga teacher, Master Adam Nugent, he said, you Americans are like a marshmallow. You marshmallow to your chair, your couch, sit on the floor, sit up straight. And I thought, he is so right. And so that changed my life way, way back then when I was like in my early 20s. I was like, he's really right. Like I never really realized that, because sometimes we just don't realize it, that, you know, sitting on the chair or the couch can turn you into like a mush ball. And sometimes that's fun, you know what I mean? Like you're doing holiday visits and it's fun to just become a mush ball, but just to remember to come out of the mush ball and realign your bones, because that's when a lot can happen, right? When we're sedentary and we're sitting for a long period of time. Yeah, like the L stretch. I think that's one of the best things. Like I said, you could be at a friend's house or a family and just say, you know, I've been sitting here eating these hors d'oeuvres for like a long time. Let me just go ahead and stand up, you know, do a little L stretch, do a little cat and cow. And then, you know, then things might feel a little bit better for you in the long run. Beautiful. Anybody else want to share anything?
I don't have any specific examples, Antoinette, but what I'm hearing as people are talking is, you know, just the ability to participate in the class. It allows you a new awareness. Like, so all of the stuff that we never even think of. So normally we'd sit down and watch TV and just sit down and watch TV. But now you can say, well, I can do that while I do this. And it's the awareness or the perspective that, you know, that you naturally integrate without even, you know, without it being a task. I mean, these prompts are great because it makes you think about it. But then when you think about it, you can also go back and realize different things that you've started to do organically, just because the progress or the process or the participation in awareness opens you up to allow that to come in.
Beautifully expressed. Thank you so much for that. It is true. It's like, I, you know, tell a story. When I first started doing chair yoga, I was at Kripalu and I was teaching. We used to have this class called Vigorous Vinyasa Flow. Does anybody remember that? It was at noon. It was always in the yoga studio. And this little woman, this little fireball, not unlike myself, came in and she took my class. And afterwards she said, I really like you. I'm a presenter. I'm teaching chair yoga. This is how it all began for me. And I was like, you know, I just thought it was for people with, you know, a lot older than me and mobility issues. And I didn't have that many mobility issues at the time. I have more now. But so I went to her class because I really liked her. It was in the Shadowbrook room and it blew my mind. I was like, I felt so much better than I had before. And I thought, there's something to this, you know? So I started to do it more often. Then I started teaching it all over the place and I've been teaching it ever since. So that was probably like 2004, 5-ish. And so because I've been practicing, it's like you're saying, Chessie, like year after year, now it's second nature to me when I'm sitting in a chair out of the yoga practice to go, okay, where's my feet? How am I sitting? Especially because I have joint issues, you know, so that brings me in that awareness a lot more often now. And knowing the difference, right? After doing a practice and going, wow, I feel so much better than I did before. Like I want to keep that, you know, keep that mindset when I'm wherever I am. You know, if I'm at a restaurant per se, you know, it's really easy. Those chairs usually aren't very comfortable, but you know, to just align yourself, align your bones. And again, this one where we fold forward, I highly recommend that for you, Christy and Julianne, for people that have to sit in the chair a long period of time, to just eventually come down and just take that pressure off your spine. And then how did the Shavasana feel?
That was awesome. That was awesome.
I know, right? It's like, Are you kidding me? It's the best. I love it so much. And then the stretch is coming out of it. I mean, and nobody actually taught me any of that. That I just really, it just keeps unfurling and more keeps coming out, and there's so much more. I mean, we could do chair yoga every day and learn something new. So I'm glad you like that, Shavasana. Yeah, beautiful.
I'd like to share a little something, speaking of awareness, that my acupuncturist suggested, and I've been doing it, which is on my phone, you have a timer. There's a clock feature app, and if I set it for 30 minutes for it to go off, and it vibrates, it doesn't make any sound. And every 30 minutes, I try to at least stand up, shake, do a little
Beautiful.
something, do my hips or walk around, or however much, I don't know, depending on where you are, you can do different things. But, and then I just hit reset, and 30 minutes later it goes off, and then 30 minutes later. So that's just a way to remind myself to move more often than sit there for an hour, because my hips get tight, my shoulders.
That's really good. That's almost like a little health appointment, like every 30 minutes, right? Take a little time for you to move things around. And it's for our body. I mean, we have our personality and our mind, right? That has all these things that we're doing, but then there's the body, right? That's just kind of showing up as we have it, as we give it what it needs, then it just shows up even better and better. So these are really important for the health of our body, to take those little health appointments. I love that. All right. Well, it's 3 minutes till. I think we'll have our official closing. Look at your puppy up there on the, That's so funny. So if you have any questions, I really do invite you to the Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, if you're not, it's okay. Please tell me, is it Drew, Jess, and Jeannie's not here today, I don't think. No. So Drew and Jess, do you need me to send you the recording via email? Give me a thumbs up if you need that. Okay, so Jess and Drew's good. Okay. All right. So otherwise, I put it on the Facebook group and you can access it there. And again, Linda, I know you were having a problem, but was everybody able to access the video from Facebook? Okay.
I couldn't find where it was, like where would I look for it?
I pinned it at the top. You just got to read, and it said a welcoming home. And then, yeah, it says a welcoming home, and it's definitely there, but there's other information there, but I pinned it at the top. So it should have been towards the top for a while, and then more things came through. But so this one will say chair yoga, hopefully. So you'll see that one will be different, but the other one will still be there also, right? So we're just gonna leave them all up there. But if you have any problems, like just let me know and I can send it to you via email. Okay. So don't feel like that's the only way. It's just a really good way to bring it to most people and for it to live there, right? So you can access it like you did, Christy, like you did it on your own. So that's why it's there too, so that you can go back to it if you'd like. But if you can't get it, let me know and I'll work with you till you do. Okay. Because I'm new at all this stuff too. Like I'm learning this techie stuff, and it's going all right. It's not perfect, but it's going pretty good. But I have people like Sherry Howard, who is just so wonderful. Thank you so much, Sherry, for being here with us. I really appreciate it. Can we all give Sherry a little love? Thank you so much, beauty. Yeah, thank you. Sherry's an amazing teacher. She lives in Costa Rica. Don't we all want to go there and visit her? Yes, definitely. Well, have a beautiful week. Next week is wake up warm up. So it's going to be all joint movements, more standing stuff next week, actually. So we'll be doing a lot of standing stuff. Have your yoga strap available, everything that you normally do. We don't need the chair though. Yeah. So see you next week. And then if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me or send me a message on our private Facebook group. These prompts will be up there. The video, when I download it, it will get there as soon as I can. And it will be there soon. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lots of love to each of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you next week.
That's great.
See you
great,
next
great.
week.
Bye.
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 Bye.